So I'll call this meeting to order. I do not believe there's any citizens' comments. Is there a motion to consider the February minutes? Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So this is the last meeting of the CRB,
Great.
founded in 1966. See, I got all this from the website. Founded in response to concerns about housing discrimination, was active in human rights, helped found outreach. And also most recently, the DEI work, which is touching many parts of municipal life. So just really, really great work. So so I think we need to celebrate CRB.
Absolutely.
It gets folded into
Right.
as it gets folded into the Community Engagement Commission beginning next month. So, and thank you for everyone who served and is rolling on as well.
And Robin, who was
Yeah.
assigned temporarily 4 years ago. You're just signing on for
Yeah.
life.
It's been fantastic with getting all the emails out.
Huh?
Thank you. Get this going.
I did notice, I'll bring this up next month, that the community engagement meeting is at the same time as Michael Pollan. So,
As what? Oh, Michael.
May
Yeah.
first.
Is it really?
yeah, so, but
You could just adjourn the meeting to.
Yeah,
fill
'cause
in
I
there.
also-
Yeah.
I wanna go to that.
next month we talk.
Yeah.
So, that's what I have now. We'll talk more about coffee with a cop. I think it's just been scheduled now. And Adam hopefully will be here with, survey results as well.
Yeah.
Sure, Swire Wilson.
Oh, me, I'm
Yeah.
next. Okay, well, just like I reported last month, next month is the beginning of the new boards, and the first meeting will be orientation. What I want everyone to remember is that on Wednesday, March 27th is the thank you dinner for all members of advisory boards. I'm hoping everybody comes because it's fun, and it's at the Public Safety Building on the second floor at 6 p.m.
And we have not heard from everybody on this board, so even if you can't make it, if you could just let us know, because it is catered and it's.
It's good, it's fun, it's good, yeah, yeah,
I'll be there.
good, definitely. Things that the commission is dealing with right now, we commissioned a report on the park, main park, and the recreation center. What many of you may not realize is the recreation center is not ADA accessible. And I find that to be reprehensible because we're the government. So we are definitely looking at how to make it accessible, which includes an elevator. So it's an expensive project because anytime you put an elevator in a building, it's expensive. But the plan we looked at was pretty exciting. It would redo the front of the building, and this has not been approved yet. So I'm just telling you things that we're considering because I think buildings are interesting. Go figure. But it would redo the front of the rec center. It would incorporate an elevator shaft, and the second floor hallway would go out through and open up into the back into the pool. So if you were someone of limited mobility, you'd go up in the elevator, walk down the hall and go right into the pool, which would be a gigantic improvement as to what it is now. It also does a lot of other great things, like provides a lot more storage for the staff. It provides an area where you can overlook the ice rink inside, so you're not out in the cold and watch the hockey game. I know, right?
That's a huge thing, yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So none of this is, but anyway.
We'll bring more community members.
Yes, yeah, I think so. So we're right in the throes of thinking about it. And we're waiting for the study on the park itself, on Main Park itself. The biggest one there is accessibility, and it's hard. It's very hard to do. The slope is really against you. But even adding railings to some of the areas would just help people like me who don't go up and down steps anymore without holding on really tightly. So, that's being considered. We also saw a report on field usage, which is, I know, fairly astonishing as to how many fields are used.
That was
Well,
really well done.
It really was a well-done report. It really, really was. And some suggestions as to what we could do to improve the amount of time fields could be used, including astroturfing, 2 of the fields, I believe it was, lighting a couple of the fields, and creating kind of a czar group to oversee the fields that you would use updated software, although nobody knows.
We need a better word than
I
that.
know we do. Field czar was the name they kept using. But, you know, there's a huge interest in children playing sports, and this is, we're really constrained. The other thing that is of consideration is there is property over off McNeely Road that is owned by the municipality, but extremely expensive to develop because you have to come in off McNeely Road, you have to traverse a stream, which means you build a bridge, and then go up into the area. So again, it's all money. It all costs money. So it's the usual issue, any not-for-profit, whether it's a government or a not-for-profit like the church, resources, needs. So how do you match the two? So that's what we're talking about. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Oh, I'll do this when we get down to talking about, the mental health person for police. Or should I tell you now?
You could do it now.
Okay, I'll do it now, sorry. So, we are planning to have Chief Haberman come in front of the commission at a discussion session. It should be within the next month, maybe 6 weeks, to talk about plans that he's done a lot of research now on having a mental health person to work with the police department. It looks, now I'm taking words out of his mouth. What he has told me is he's looking at a wraparound person. So it would be the kind of thing where they might get a complaint that somebody's trash is all over the front yard and, you know, it's a mess and they're not doing their job, and they go in and find somebody elderly that can't manage these tasks anymore. And a wraparound person could bring in the social net to help people function in their lives and function in Mount Lebanon.
Especially Allegheny. I think Allegheny has a special program through UPMC for elderly that want to stay assisted living,
Mhm,
just available for Allegheny residents.
mhm.
And I found out that it's underutilized.
Oh, that's good to know. He may know this already, because, you know, every time I say something to him, it's like, yeah, I've done this and that. I'm like, well, I can't give you anything new, but he's done a lot of research, so you guys won't be around, but you will be, so I'll tell you, and you will be, because you're both going on to civic engagement. What happens after? And Margaret will,
Oh,
he's right. And Adam,
Yeah.
all of you will be there to hear what the final result is.
Well,
And we-
and the meetings are open to the public, so anybody can just come in.
That's right, anybody can come in and watch, and the interesting thing is, so I'm gonna give you a little geeky finance for a moment, but it's important to understand. You know, we bring in tax dollars every year and we spend the vast majority of the dollars that we bring in. But what you might call a reserve in your business is what we call unassigned funds. There's the word, unassigned funds. And we have an unassigned fund that is about 18%, I'd say, of our overall budget, which is very, very healthy. A lot of towns don't even have 3%, and we've got 18, so we know that we have a certain amount every spring that we can spend, which would be those funds, plus sometimes more taxes come in than we anticipate, because remember, we do the budget in September, and not everything's been collected. And a lot of things get funded in the spring. It's a lot smaller than the budget. But this is one of those things that's been tagged for funding in the spring, as long as we have what we think is a good sound plan. So, because I know you had asked me, you know, well, why isn't it funded with the budget? We just didn't feel like we had enough of a plan. It was a little too out there, so. looking forward to that, so it gets funded. There we go. What?
And with the person, the social worker, wraparound person, I feel like, or maybe I just missed this, when Chief Haberman was talking about it before, it seemed like it was going to be a multi-municipality.
Not sure on whether it will be or not. I
Oh.
think that, I think that the latest discussion was more about maybe just two communities going together. And I don't think that's been resolved.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think at that, last time I spoke to him, I believe he said to me, it's probably two communities together. Because there's the issue of being able to manage it. You know, if you bite off too
Right.
many and you can't serve people because you have too many requests, then you've really kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Although when you
as
do,
they say.
when you do multi-community projects, it makes you more attractive for grants.
Yes, it does.
Right.
So that was the other side.
Right.
So that's,
But I think
again,
that-
these aren't, nothing has been decided, but I'm looking forward to his report. It should be coming soon.
That's great progress.
Mhm. Okay, there you have it. I can't think of anything else I haven't told you, but you have any questions? Shoot away.
And do you, I know I jumped a couple minutes late. Do you know how many people applied for the new board?
Oh my gosh, no. Tons.
Okay, I was just curious. I didn't know. If
Yeah,
it was-
no, we really
Say
had.
that all people who applied from this board were appointed
Right,
to the new
Yeah,
board.
we're putting the new board.
How many numbers are on the new board?
Nine. Mhm. Yes. I know a few of the people that are coming on to the
I can
new
read the
city.
names, they were.
But I don't know all of them. You know, the commission kind of gets in a room and starts tossing around names and advocating for their picks for their boards because they know people, you know, I mean, I know who showed up for meetings.
Yeah,
et
here are the
cetera.
9. So it's Margaret, Noah, Adam, and Terry, and then Emily West, she lives on Marlin Drive East. Kelsey, and again, I don't know if people have nicknames or short names, I'm just reading what was on their application. Kelsey Lee from Hazel Drive. She's wonderful. Dr. Anna Roman from Lancaster Avenue. Agnes Paulus from Thornycroft,
Aggie.
and
Good
Kevin Brand.
From
So
Melon Springs.
that's the 9, yeah.
I know Kevin and Aggie and Kelsey.
Is it 3 years too?
No,
No.
1/3 will roll off every year, so
Every year.
3 people have 3-year terms, 3 people have 2-year terms, and 3 people have 1-year terms.
We tended to put
Staggered.
the new people that we didn't know on the 1-year terms to just say, you know, let's see if you like it. Well, they may not like it. I mean, it's fair. You know, and people we already knew were committed had got the longer terms. Typically. Shouldn't say things.
So that wasn't communicated to us what terms we had.
Oh,
Just said,
Can we go?
welcome.
There was a ton of
Okay.
information.
There was a ton of information that was
Um,
not part of the.
Okay, so I have your term, it was in the meeting, maybe Ian didn't have it, so Margaret's term expires in 3/31/2027. Noah, yours expires at the same time, and so does Adams, and then Terry, yours expires in 2026.
They send out like an actual,
The letter, yep, the letter may not, I have the letters here. Yeah, so you'll be getting a formal letter.
Policies and procedures.
You'll be
know
getting
Ian.
this snail mail letter that indicates you're
yeah.
in the mail.
Is that how all the boards will work? Sorry.
Yes.
Mhm.
So like all the boards will have the same stagger.
Mhm.
And then we told the people who are not appointed, because there were a lot of applications, that again, people leave boards for multitudes of reasons. They get reassigned at work, they move. And so just because somebody wasn't appointed in this round doesn't mean they wouldn't be appointed at any point in the next.
Right.
And we keep it on file for 2 years, so.
Yeah.
So again, Ann touched on the boards and authorities dinner. Today was the RSVP, but if you could get to Karen tomorrow, we can still get you in, so. So again, that's on the 27th. A story idea that we're working on that I thought you all would find interesting, at our staff meeting, we have a staff meeting almost every Thursday. Tammy Kamenzine, who is Mount Lebanon's treasury manager, so she works in the tax office, has been working with an English language teacher who works with populations who are looking to move to Mount Lebanon and working on their English skills. And one of the things that they found is people coming from other countries don't understand our property tax structure and our income tax structure. It can be a barrier to people moving here. Because either if they purchase a home, either their realtor doesn't tell them that, hey, there's this other bill that you're going to get. Or they don't count on the earned income tax, exactly. And I'm not slamming realtors, sometimes they do, but it also is not necessarily explained in an understandable way to someone whose English is not their first language.
Right.
So Tammy has been working with this person to communicate with this group how to calculate these bills and how to plan for these expenditures. So we thought that that would be a good story, that we have this municipal employee who's partnering with the community again for transparency and again, trying to encourage more people to choose Mount Lebanon as their home.
So make sure to, just to know, I belong to the Pittsburgh Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and they run classes on that. So this is a
Cool.
great
Yeah.
resource and they run periodically. You get in a WhatsApp. So especially if you're coming from different country, you still use WhatsApp is more, right? Popularly used outside of America. So they have their newsletter through WhatsApp, they have a website, Facebook page, and they're looking to gain more support from local communities, and they're doing a good job.
It's terrific.
The HDC. And housing is their focus, and employment, housing and employment.
Interesting.
I think this group is also trying to move some of these people from, apartments, temporary homes into a little bit more of a permanent situation. So, outreach, we mentioned outreach as, started by the Community Relations Board. They're having their 50th anniversary. And they are having their gala on April 26th. It's a Friday. So they're very excited about that. And I think that's it. I have a couple things for Residence Academy and Citizen Service Award when we get there.
First of all, I just wanted to thank all of you for all of your hard work over the last several years since you've all been on the board. It's been a pleasure working with you all and I really appreciate it. As far as the library, we have a lot going on. Our winter reading challenge ends March 20th for teens and adults, so there's still a chance to win prizes. If you or your family or your kids are interested in the PEEP diorama contest, that's coming up. The first week of April is the week when you turn it in, the week after Easter. And then we'll be voting after that. And I think they're announced on the 15th. National Library Week is the week of April 8th. So if you haven't stopped by the library lately, that's a great time to do it. Michael Pollan, as Noah mentioned, will be visiting Mellon Middle School auditorium on May 1st. Tickets are available. We still have a few tickets available. They're $25 and you can get them online. And save the date for May 11th in the morning. That's the Saturday before Mother's Day, and that is our Friends of the Library Spring Plant Sale. So if you need last minute gifts, you can stop by.
What day did you say that was? That'll be me.
The plant sale, May
Yeah.
11th.
May 11th.
That's also the first day of the Uptown Market. So park at the library, swing by our plant sale, then you go uptown to the market. Everybody parks in the library anyway, so it's not like I'm giving permission, it's just what happens. That's all.
And you can park in the garage for only $1, so I don't even know why people are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
$1 on Saturday.
Yeah, very cheap. Feels like
Hmm? Yep. Yep.
Okay, and then moving on to continuing business DEI.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, I just did want to mention that Claire sends her regrets. She has a job and she's working 3 to 8 tonight, so she's unable to be here. I asked her that I told her she could send a report if she wanted to, but I didn't get anything from her.
Well,
So
is she going to remain as a junior board member or like with the new board?
we are not continuing the junior board member program at the particular moment because there's too much change. I mean,
Okay.
even this board alone has 5 new people who are new to board service, so so they may bring that back as part of next year's junior commissioner program, so.
Gotcha.
So continuing business DEI, initiative, events. Adam, do you have any update from?
My update is that they did not wait for us to provide any input to before determining how they're going to proceed with event structure. So the commission has a policy now about events that we can look at whenever. I think probably makes sense to do with when the new board comes together. So we can think about what we want to do, but effectively that I think maybe there may be additions that we can make to it, or other suggestions we can make, but for now there kind of is like a set policy in place about how boards are going to appear and table at public events.
I'm just curious, what is can somebody share the policy?
I'm gonna find it here in a moment and I'll share it.
Thank you.
Laura, thank you for pointing it out. I know you.
I just didn't want you to, you know what I mean? I cannot stand wasted work, We have enough to do.
So while he does that, Ascend Lebo in the new board configuration, is Ascend Lebo still a separate entity from the board?
Ascend Lebo is just the website. So the comprehensive plan report is serving for the blueprint for all of the boards to work from.
Okay.
There's a specific section that the board will be working on. It's the recommendations based on engagement. So that's kind of the marching orders for the new board. So with the SharePoint site that I've set up, the document is broken out. So the board can see the recommendations, and what their job is going to be is to look at those recommendations, prioritize them, and help push them to fruition. So yeah, that will be part of it. We are also working with the consultants who did the comprehensive plan to update the municipal website so that it's no longer just a PDF document, but that there's dashboarding so that these recommendations can be measured as they are begun, implemented, and completed. Like that.
And I have the language here that I can read. It's just a few sentences. And it says that advisory boards may participate in municipal events or programs and provide assistance with the express approval of the municipal manager. Participation in events or programs and the creation and distribution of any educational materials shall be fully coordinated through the Public Information Office or other departments as deemed appropriate by the municipal manager. Advisory boards shall not independently host events or formally attend any events that are not approved and coordinated by the municipality. So that's what the policy is. So I think there's room for interpretation there, but that's what the new board and policies and procedures part of that document.
Police partnership.
Great news, Ian, about the mental health space. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
We have a coffee with a cop scheduled for April 16th from 8 to 11 at Uptown Coffee. So that's an opportunity to interact with Chief and some of the other members of the police department. They'll be there. It's a great opportunity. It's just laid back, chill, and it's fun.
Really good.
I met him at Panera, I think a few Fridays ago, or 8 in the morning. He had like 20 people in the team. Like he said, I wonder, is this the coffee with the cop? Because this is too many people, but it's a smaller thing, right? Much more informal.
It's informal. People can come and go. You can stay for
Yeah.
5 minutes, for an hour. So the different officers will be there representing different departments and work. So just invite your neighbors, people that you know. It's a great
And
opportunity.
that's from 8 AM to 11 AM.
8 to 11 on the 16th, right?
We also asked them to tone down the uniforms last time, and they did
Yes.
comply. Some people felt intimidated walking by seeing 10 officers with their guns. Well, they have their guns, but at least they have a polo and cargo pants on. instead of-
Which is.
It's more welcome.
Yeah.
Do they post that on their, like,
social media site, just so you.
Oh, yeah.
You do, yeah, okay.
So we were able to get the date and time to get it in the April magazine, so that will be as well.
We got social media.
Social media, Lee will send a Lebo alert.
But I'm not on the board, I'll still know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're working on an engagement with faith and civic leaders that will happen, I think in May is what we're targeting. So a couple opportunities to interact with chief.
I mean, so training, we will have the new HR director as part of the new board, so I think
Staff
that's.
liaison,
So that's,
Laura.
so that's promising for us to be able to advance that area.
Mhm.
She's actually not here today because she's at a statewide HR conference for governments. So
Yeah.
our manager, municipal manager, Jason Haberman and Julie are all there.
Yeah, what's her name, Laura?
Julie Aquino.
She's attended, what, 2 of these meetings, 2 or
Yeah,
3?
she has, she did, came in on Zoom, yeah.
Magazine column ideas.
Right to know. I told you that one already. I think that's a good one to have.
And we did finish the one on the Citizen Volunteer Award winner
Yeah, that's great.
in April.
You haven't announced that name, right, though?
We haven't.
Okay, I just didn't want to,
You can announce it here, it's fine.
I've seen it in writing somewhere. Can we?
It's,
you want me to enter it into the minutes?
sure. Margaret, do you want to talk about the award winner? Nope.
She would if she could.
She probably took herself off
There
then.
Yeah.
I don't think she heard you, Laura.
Did you want to talk about your Citizen Service Award? winner?
She's, breaking up.
Muted, yeah.
You're muted.
Anybody read lips?
I wish.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Sorry about that. Yeah. So with the Citizen Service Award, so I guess, let's see, we talked about it last meeting. Does anybody have any more to add to it or?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here, so I didn't know you all talked about it.
I think we did.
Okay.
They're waiting to find out who it is.
Okay, so we chose Annie Skiba and it's pretty exciting. She's done a lot for the community. And yeah, so she started, she worked with Just a Mount Lebanon Housewife, which is a really pivotal Facebook page that has really made a big difference in the community instead of like, especially bringing people together who've had, detrimental things happen to them. And also a celebration of positive things. And she's also worked with Mount Lebanon Pass Along at Pickup. And she is on the board for the community partnership. And she just always lends a helping hand. She's very warm and giving and just exactly epitomizes what we would want for this volunteer award. So we're excited to give the award to Annie at the meeting coming up, at the dinner. So that's it.
A lot of mom and pop shops as well to survive through COVID.
We did that.
Oh, really? Huh.
Mhm.
Didn't know about that.
We did a thing where, we would contract with local restaurants.
Uh-huh.
Then they wouldn't donate the food. We collected
Right.
donations from the community.
Mhm.
And then, so like Nippers was a big one, and they would provide just huge trays of food. And then we would partner with a community organization like Women's Center and Shelter or
Nice.
I'm trying to think, Sojourner House. There were a bunch, and then we would deliver these meals
It was very nice.
during COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
smart.
it was awesome. So it gave money to businesses and
Mhm.
And for those who weren't on the committee, Stephanie was also nominated for the award and we,
oh,
I just didn't know that, but we had to just, you know, if you're on the board or you're a family member of the board member, you're not eligible. So next year you will be eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then Margaret, mediations, do you wanna, do you have any mediation updates?
Yeah, there's a couple that are pending and some of them maybe be moving along a little more slowly because we're communicating through letters. But there's still some happening, and we've really had a great response from the municipality whenever we have very specific questions, we need clarification, or them to come out to take a look at something. They've been extremely helpful. So I just feel like it's a strong partnership with the municipality, which makes this work much more smoothly. So. And that's it.
And with several that are happening, is it still working with your workload to be able to handle them yourself?
Oh, yeah, there's really, the ones that have come up lately really aren't taking up too much time. So, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I was just gonna say too, Margaret, with the mediations, I feel like they've come up, or different issues have come up a lot recently on some of the local social media pages. And the CRB and mediation is always suggested as a solution. And again, I think people don't always know, and it really is a really great option, and people seem, you know, very supportive of it when it's mentioned.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. That's something we can all keep in mind, you know, as a board, even former board members, right? If you see something come up on social media, that's a great thing to mention, because you're right, most people aren't really aware of it. So that's helpful. Yeah, so it's possible some people reached out because they did see something on social media. And then I had a commissioner reach out to me directly once. And there's people in municipal employees who I think may have initiated this. So I think, as more people know about it, it can become more and more useful.
So Residence Academy's wrapped up?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't not say enough things.
I have heard
It was so
really
much
good
fun.
things. Thank you all so much for all the work that you did. I know it was a ton of work, so.
Yes.
You normally do a follow-up survey, is that right?
They do. And then they do.
Yes, and Adam, I know I need to input to, well, one day, the last session.
Yeah. And I think you may have some surveys from like the post surveys too.
I do, I'll put those
Okay.
in too.
So
Yeah, I just have a couple.
yeah, I have we have like about half of the survey. So I'll get returned, and overall the change has been pretty cool to see. What we just asked everybody on January 4th, right before any of the sessions started. We asked them to rate on a scale of 1 to 5 their 4 questions. I understand how the municipality of Mount Lebanon functions. I understand what community resources are available. I understand how Mount Lebanon allocates taxpayer money, and I have an appreciation for local government. So those are the 4 questions that we asked everybody. For understanding how the municipality of Mount Lebanon functions, before the Residence Academy, the average was 2.8. After it was 4.7.
Wow.
I understand what community resources are available. Before it was 3.1. After it was 4.7. I understand how Mount Lebanon allocates taxpayer monies. Before that was 2.6, and now it's 4.6.
Wow.
And I have an appreciation for local government. That was at 3.8, and now it is at 4.8. So across the board, everybody has every single response is either all 5s or 4s and 5s. So which is definitely not what and we did it so that we can track, like we have like an ID for each person where it's anonymized, but you can know who each person is. So you can see, even it's not just people that had like a bunch of 4s that went to a bunch of 5s. It was people that were at like 1s and 2s in some categories that now are at 4s and 5s. So so it's cool to see that and whenever Stephanie, whenever we get a chance to get those the rest of the data points, we'll add those in, but I imagine that they're probably going to reflect most of the same. So so yeah, it's exciting results.
There are two things that are remarkable to this year's experience, in my view, was the range of age, the age range from like early 20s to late
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
And the engagement and dedication of the speakers, like
Yeah.
the school, the walk through the high school was phenomenal. So a lot of them said, oh, that's making me want to go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
And go to the courses and
Right.
utilize the building, you know, with the after class and all those courses that are taking place in the building. So it was very captivating.
Yeah.
The other-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The only other thing to Liv's point is that they had the other thing that I was surprised by from the very beginning was the difference in people who had been here for a very long time in Mount Lebanon and people who have only been here for less than for a couple years or less. There were at least a handful of people that were here for less. This is like they just moved here recently,
Yeah.
so that was really cool to see.
Yeah, and one thing that we did differently this year that I think worked really well, and Noah had awesome icebreakers the
Yeah.
first session.
Cool.
Was we incorporated a little more networking time, and that was something from the prior year that like almost universally people wanted, and we didn't get that this year because we had incorporated it, and I did feel like there was much more mingling and socializing, which was really cool. Yeah, Noah at the first session had people line up from the length of time they've been in Mount Lebanon, and it went from 2 months to 72 years. It was super,
So
it was
cool.
really cool.
72,
Yeah, 72 years.
We were a little hampered too. There was a lot more interaction in the, I don't want to say the old days of the Residence Academy, but when we switched to virtual during the pandemic, it was horrible because it was just,
Yeah,
there was
you're
no
seeing-
engagement. And then when we came back, people were still getting sick.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
people came, but they still were kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not coming over there. So it was nice that everything was kind of time where people felt comfortable
Yeah.
talking again.
It was really nice. I like that part.
And we also had really good attendance throughout. Like there were a number of people who almost the majority attended every single session, which it's a big commitment for 10 weeks because
The weather cooperated too, which helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have
Heavens,
any-
right.
No issue.
Well, and on my night, the library, we started at the library and then went to the historical center, and I think it was cold that night. I don't remember.
That was the worst weather.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any ice storms.
We had a voluntary library tour that started like a half an hour earlier than the session, and almost everybody came to the voluntary tour as well as the session, so it was.
You
they
guys,
were
you got
very-
really good feedback. I entered those survey results. You
It's an
got a lot of
amazing
good
library,
feedback.
and I don't think
That was
everybody
new
needs to
this year.
realize that,
The
so.
tour was new.
We did it like in the first year or two, and then I think it was cut for time. I don't remember why, like, I think there were just 2 of us the first year or so, and then the preservation board was added, maybe, something like that. I don't know, but it cut our time down, so we had to change things up a bit, but it worked out well, do it again that way.
So as we do board transition, Adam, do you have all the information to carry?
I know how to do it now. Yeah, so by default, I think I will be the person that it's helping for next year. But I think next year we can be hopefully we can have more than the kind of like the core group helping a little bit, because I know for Leah, Stephanie, and I was definitely a lot of juggling to be there to get everything coordinated. So I think we can fine tune that a little bit for next year and have. But I appreciate everybody who's able to come in and help for a session or two whenever. I think we did a good job of filling in for each other and stuff whenever we needed to. And so I think that for next year, yeah, I'm happy to help coordinate that and hopefully some new members of our board will be ready to jump in on that too.
And if anybody has any expenses that they haven't turned in for the Residence Academy, checks should be coming for those who have. But if you have anything else, if you could get that in soon.
Yeah. Okay, so I can just do them all as one, correct, Laura?
Yeah, and just send it to me. Just send me the receipts or copies of the receipts or scans receipts and then your home address and we'll have that sent to you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I did want to mention too that each board has, is it SharePoint folders or some sort of shared, place where you can drop everything, your information. So if you have projects that you're still working on that you want the civic engagement board to have the information.
Yeah, I
get
think
it
what
to
I'll
me or
do.
Laura, and we'll get it.
I think what I'll do is I'll add the 4 of you to the SharePoint site now. My concern with the new people is sometimes when people sign up for the boards and authorities, they use like a janky email address that they don't use and don't intend to check. And we've had a lot of people say, well, I never got the invitation, but I know the addresses that you use and you check. I'll send you the link to the SharePoint tomorrow so that you'll have access to it. And you'll see I've set up some folders, basically categorized. I set one up for the Citizen Service Award. I put all the nominations in there for this year. I put Residence Academy stuff in there, put the agendas in there. I put DEI stuff. I put the presentations from the DEI subcommittee in there so that you have access to those. So you'll be able to have access to all that stuff too.
That's great.
And Adam, I'm happy to, if there's any, I'll actually miss it.
I know,
A lot. So if you need help.
Well, here's the other thing about the way the new boards are set up. You have the ability to set a committee that includes non-board members. So if you wanted to convene a committee of volunteers to help you, to assign extra duties to and parse out the work, you can do that.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
Hey,
you got
I-
some volunteers.
First working
All
committee.
right, that's a blood oath, Stephanie. So,
Really, I haven't even met. We have a new
Another
committee.
thing about the, that came out of the Residence Academy was that they told the pass on was the Fire Academy, they plan to do one, I guess they used to do it every other year. Thinking maybe they'll do it every year because it's been such good success, but he said just to let him know if you guys are interested in doing it. And I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
You get to light things on fire.
Yeah.
And they were particularly interested in the metrics from the evaluations because they use that for their accreditation.
Yeah, yeah.
Get to set things on fire. Doesn't love that. Wait till we have the new training center. Woo.
All right, Adam, do you want to talk about the board experience survey?
sure. So we had 4 responses so far, and basically we just asked folks to kind of rate their own engagement. And the goal of that was to kind of see where for people who felt like maybe they weren't super engaged, we would understand why, like the kind of the whys of that, and then for people that were engaged, the whys of that. We didn't really get results, perhaps not surprisingly, but we didn't get results from people who had who didn't said that they were not very engaged. So so we don't have explanations there, but we do have some good feedback, and I'll share a couple things. Because we asked what do you believe works well about the Community Relations Board, and what do you believe could be improved about the Community Relations Board. So I'll just share a few things out from that. And now, so Robin, you were given kudos for your excellent work in keeping us informed with meeting dates, agendas, and minutes. The fact that there was a place in the municipal structure to bring issues, DEI issues, up, as well as was rated as a plus. Communication was rated as a plus, and the things that are like kind of regular things like the volunteer award, the Residence Academy mediations, those run well. So those were kind of the good things. The things that could be improved were clear goals, objectives with timeframes and milestones, as well as commitments from commissioners to implement recommendations. A clear sense of how the CRB is a component of municipal decision making. And encourage more dialogue and get everyone's thoughts, as it's easy to fade into the background and not be heard, which allows for little discussion and thoughts during meetings. And then there was frustration with the roadblocks to pushing the DEI work forward. And they're referencing to a lot of work that was done and a lot of hours spent, but I'm reading here in the end, it felt very much that it was just about saying we were doing the work, but not actually taking action, which was frustrating to the person who responded with that. So yeah, I'll send another note. So hopefully other members can respond. We can get a few more results in there, and then I'll send it along to us, but also but I think the goal was to hopefully inform the new board, which I think we can bring these results to the new board so that they understand a little bit of what other members, because we've responded from people who are and who are not on joining the next board. So they'll have a little bit of an idea of what people are thinking about as we head into this new civic engagement board.
Thank you, Adam. for the
Great,
report.
Thank you.
very valuable. Yeah, it's valuable.
Does anyone have anything else they want to add or any other?
Can we back up to the citizen service awards? I just want to go over what's going to happen at the
Yeah.
dinner. There's a place on the program for Robin to be introduced as the board liaison, who will just bring up the topic of the citizen service awards. And then typically we've had somebody from the committee come up to the microphone and introduce the two. Now Patty Cook, who was the winner last year, is not able to make it, but we would say, why she was chosen and honor her and thank her for her volunteerism in the community. Annie is able to come talk about her as well. We'll have a professional photographer there. We'll take some pictures real quick right there in front of everybody with the winner. Yeah, we did it last time and did a great job. So I'm not sure who wants to do that, but somebody obviously who's going to be at the meal.
Yeah.
And it's not intimidating or frightening at all, so.
Who's going to be there?
Well,
So who was on the selection committee?
again,
You're good, Adam.
There you go.
yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's fine by me.
Okay.
So I'll introduce Adam and then Adam will introduce the winner, yes?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
If in that case, if somebody is able to give me some information about Patty, so even though she's not there, since I was not on that selection committee, I would appreciate it.
I can send you the article that we wrote about her and then also the nomination form.
Yeah. That would be great. Thank you, Laura.
One thing, 'cause going back to events, I just want to bring it to the new committee's attention that Levo Pride will be on June 15th.
Yeah.
And the Juneteenth celebration is on June 22nd. And I know the CRB was at Pride last year in case want to be present again.
Or Juneteenth, because there was amazing food last year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they didn't have vendors at Juneteenth, or not vendors, but tables like for.
No, but they
But
got
they-
it catered. I don't
Oh
know
my
if you
God,
had
it's
that food.
amazing.
It was fantastic.
Is it like they catered?
I don't know, but it was fantastic. It went.
Yeah.
Will you be sending things out about The
Jamie, about Pride,
Yeah.
yeah.
that? Okay.
And then Jamie Freeman is the.
Yeah.
You say Jamie.
Okay, just so I understand the new policy. So if the civic engagement board was to be involved in any of these activities, it's something that we would have procedurally have to make sure that the commissioners approve that.
Manager.
The manager, yeah, sorry, okay, the manager. Okay, and so is the procedure, would we be sending an email to the manager? So this is like recorded in writing or?
Correct.
Yeah, and I think Margaret, that's a good point to bring up because that's something that I think that we could suggest as to kind of fine tune this to make sure that it's clear we get X amount of weeks out ahead of the event. The manager will respond in X amount of days after the request, that kind of stuff. So I think that there's still some room for us to flesh out those procedures just to make it flow as seamlessly as possible.
Okay, and we'd probably need some specificity about exactly maybe, what our engagement in the event would be, et cetera. How many people, So yeah, so I know it's something that's new and I just want to make sure, like, we're all thinking through.
So that's something from the first meeting to talk about.
Your first meetings are going to be orientation meetings, so you're
Yeah.
gonna review everything, is my
Yeah,
understanding.
so that's certainly a question that you have to ask as part of that. Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot to go over. I mean, remember, 5 of these people have never served on a, and just things like the, the right to know, the fact that your emails are subject to right to know,
Right.
open meetings. It's a lot, and
Yeah.
we heard loud and clear that the DEI committee did not have a good onboarding when there were 36 people coming on, and we don't want to repeat that.
But I thought your email was great. Like, it was very clear. It had links. It went over a lot of important
That was the
information.
end.
So thanks so much for putting together such a comprehensive email welcoming you to the board.
Good.
So I'm gonna go through, read it quickly and click on the links. Yes.
So final thoughts or reflections?
This was awesome. Good experience.
I love getting to know all of
Yeah.
Same here. For me, I'm just taking a break. I'm not gonna go anywhere. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're probably
you
gonna
know
see
where
me.
you live. I do anyway.
Coffee or another one. But in 4 years, it feels like
Yeah.
more than 4 I think, because of COVID and all the work with DNI, but it's just adjusting the pace of change with the resources we have, bringing other people along, ensuring that we don't put the carriage in front of the horse, otherwise change is not sustainable. So I think we all learn a lot in this process. Great team. I mean, definitely I'm gonna be an expansion of a committee, how to find me. But in a year or two, I'll come back. I plan to, if there's room. But I'll be in the library more time. I actually highlighted you in a Strong Women and Strong Girl Foundation event that happened. But there was we had a really nice dynamic where there were questions about inclusion, various questions, and you're not allowed to talk about your job, you're not allowed to talk about anything related to your name, like where you came from, none of that. And you just had to pick a question in the table and kind of have a conversation. And my favorite question was that, where do you feel more included in your community?
Oh, that's interesting.
And we talked for 40 minutes about our libraries.
That
Yeah.
makes it.
That's cool.
What I do every day, yeah. Thank you.
So that's just
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Because I was just thinking about, when we were formed in 1966 and the kind of overt racism that we saw back in the 60s with keeping people out. Now I hear it it's said a different way. So I will have a resident say to me, I don't want anything to change. I want the same traditions. I want everything to stay the same. You shouldn't let others in. And it's more, it's more diffuse. It's not just a Black person. It's, people from different countries, et cetera. But it's still there. It's very much still there. People are very threatened by a lot of change. And yet it's happening everywhere. There isn't any, hello, hop on board. Because, it's too late to roll back. Who would want to anyways? So,
No, I have an apartment during the week on Central Square, and
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most diverse neighborhoods
Yes,
in
yeah.
Mount Lebanon, and it's an absolutely wonderful,
Yeah.
interesting place to live with. Just really great neighbors, so.
Yeah.
We're changing for the better.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny.
I just want to also echo my appreciation of you, Robin, for keeping us steady and level through all of these meetings.
That's a compliment. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. I was gonna ask, do you all wanna like gather around the screen and we'll get a picture of everybody that's in the meeting?
That's different.
I would have been there in person, but I'm saving you all from the cold that my son gave me, so
He's there, Adam. I can't. Is that, do you have now what he had at the last,
I'll get it.
CRB?
Dude, no, thankfully it's not that. It's just so it's just sore throat and yada
All right,
yada.
all right.
Okay.
Are we squeezed in?
Sorry.
Are we squeezed good enough? Yep.
Right, let me zoom one in a little bit. Awesome.
Zoom on your phone.
See? Put in a combined Zoom.
That's the reality of.
On the 4-year anniversary of the world shutting down appropriate.
That's crazy, that's 4 years.
Yeah, the
Tomorrow?
13th, this is the 13th.
For the library.
And I saw on Facebook, somebody was talking about 30 years ago today, we had this huge blizzard that dropped 25
Yeah.
inches of snow. on
So did
Pittsburgh.
93.
It was in high school.
93. 19, I guess it was, yeah.
Sleeves today.
I know, right? Yeah, but there's no global warming, just remember. There is not. That's
All right, so with that, adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you all.
Oh,
Thank you, Laura, I know.
Yeah, what?
Thank you, Laura, for speaking with
You're
us.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know it.
And doing the liaison between staff.
I know.
Well, the thing is, you're